Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus RX 400 hybrid, and it's the SE model. This particular car has the multimedia pack, obviously, which incorporates the sat nav that you can see there working perfectly well. Also, you get hands-free Bluetooth on the telephone system, pardon me, and a rear parking camera on the car. But fabulous cars, absolutely fabulous. The reason we do the video, as I say, in pretty much all of them, very simple indeed, is we want customers to see the cars that we're selling in operation prior to coming to see us. That way, if there are any issues with the vehicle, we can, and we do relay them back to you. I've done it on many of my previous videos, and I'll continue to do so. The reason for that is very simple. We've had our time wasted by going to see cars where there was a clear and fundamental fault, which we should have been told about. And likewise, we feel it's right that any garage should say the same and do the same for yourselves to save yourself a long trip or a wasted day to us. The road test's also done locally to ourselves on the same roads that any prospective buyer will go on, so I'd hope it would be representative of what you'd feel yourself. As you'll probably know from the advert, the car's had a wonderful service history by the Lexus main dealers, and it's absolutely obvious as soon as you drive the car. It's tight, it's taut, the engine starts absolutely immediately. Of course, you don't really hear it because it goes into kind of hybrid mode straight away, so you twist the key and there's an absence of noise basically. But when it does engage, it does so very smoothly. The engine sounds absolutely silky smooth. It's a wonderful example of a truly brilliant car. There's no warning lights on the dashboard relating to the car or any other part of the car for that matter. Engine then goes through into the gearbox of the vehicle. Gear changes, because it's a CVT, is non-existent in effect. It's absolutely smooth. It does make for, and I always struggle in the videos to kind of get across just what I mean by this. There's an absolute seamlessness to the way these cars drive. Normally when you put your foot down, you get a delay, then you feel the gear change, go down a couple of gears, you accelerate, you feel the gears go up. This one you don't. If I was to accelerate now, I just put my foot down, there's noise, and it goes, and that's it. And you just feel the car kind of catching up with the revs. It's so smooth, it's absolutely ridiculous. We're looking at a car now that's 10, 12 years old, and yet it drives in a way that very, very few modern cars other than Lexus drive like. It's wonderful, and I can't detect anywhere through the gearbox or the engine or the hybrid system at all. It feels as tight as a drum. Brakes on the car, there's a lovely solid brake pedal on the vehicle. There's no pulsing or vibrations or grinding noises coming from underneath, which would suggest brake wear underneath the vehicle. So all in very, very good order indeed. Also on the move, it's incredibly quiet. Now that kind of tranquility can be ruined clearly if a sunroof seal or windscreen seal or door seal had been sort of snagged or damaged accidentally. Because that would allow wind hiss into the vehicle, and there's nothing. It's exactly as quiet as it should be, and that is very, very quiet indeed. The steering of the car, very precise, very accurate for a car of its type. Tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel of the vehicle at all. But there's just no wear in it that I can feel of any note. There's no kind of slop to it, there's no kind of clonks or faint, sometimes you can feel further down the steering system just a little bit of movement, but there's nothing at all. Likewise, the suspension, what I'm listening out for, you'll hear it going over the bumps, albeit very quietly in an RX, but there's none of those kind of secondary noises, little, again, sort of faint clonks or bangs, which are normally just simple things like little anti-roll bar links or drop links, little rubber bushes perished, allowing kind of metal just to rub against metal. But again, by dint probably of its service history, it's been kept on top of, and it just feels and drives, as cliched as it may sound, as close to new as you could expect any used car to feel. but it's so smooth to drive. They are beautiful cars to drive, these, they really are. I've had a number of them and I absolutely love them. Looking around inside the car, we've not cleaned it. I've literally just dropped our delivery driver off, who's just delivered the car to us, which is why I'm doing a slightly different route coming back, but it's all in lovely condition in here. I like the interior colours on these. It's nice, it's bright, it's very classy, and it's stunningly well made as well. You know, there's no squeaks or trim rattles, there's nothing. It just feels absolutely rock solid in here. The texturing of all the plastics is very high grade indeed, but it's all working beautifully well. You know, everything I've pressed thus far, although I'll be going into the workshops in sometime later this afternoon, works exactly as it should. Sat nav, I'll just check the heated seats actually while I was at it. I did do this when I bought the car, but I'll just do it again just in case. But sat nav's working perfectly. Air conditioning works absolutely fine. It does pump out lovely cold air. But the switch gear, again, the quality of the switch gear is quite extraordinary. You know, these are built to take mega miles. I actually took one on part exchange only a few months ago against a later RX 450, and it done just under 300,000 miles, and yet it looked very much like this one does inside. It was in fantastic condition. The only one that one had was bolster wear, and noticeably so, which clearly with that mileage you'd have expected. But you know, these are very hard wearing cars, which also brings me to the next point, of course. Without a good and comprehensive service history, just to be very careful, because clearly, because they take the miles so well, very easy to clock, without giving it, you know, away the clues in terms of kind of the condition of the vehicle. You know, obviously if you're cross-shopping cars, you know, compared to turbo diesels of their vintage, they are so much tougher, more reliable, but also so much nicer to drive. Literally, if you jump from this to a Q7, to an X5, to an ML, as worthy cars they are, they feel absolutely agricultural compared to these. They really do. You know, I really encourage people to sort of try the others and then sort of go on one of these, just to, so you can see what I mean. But the point of the video, as much as anything else, was to sort of pick up on any issues on the car. I can't find a single thing on it that merits any mention at all, and as I said before, I would do and I always have done. Clearly, if I've missed anything on the video, it's not by intention or design. You know, please do give us a call and I'll happily answer any questions you might have about the vehicle. But judged on this, albeit short test drive, it's another wonderful example of a fantastic car.